Hello, everyone. This is Angelo Batio. I had to do it a little differently today. I was at another studio recording the entire time, and I didn't even know if I could get back to my own studio to do the live stream. I was almost going to do a remote live stream like I did in the summer when, hello, Cynthia, when I was in my car and everybody thought I was a madman with the guitar hanging out the window. You know, they thought, he's got a shotgun, anyway, it's good to be here. This is like old school compared to how we've been doing it. Hey, Denny, how are you? But we'll post this to YouTube, all my fans on YouTube that were watching the live stream, because we were doing multi-streams. We'll be able to see it again like that next week. But I didn't even know I could be at my own studio in time, but I just got here. So we were able to do this. As far as the shout outs, I want to say, hello. Obviously, Denny's here, Cynthia's here. I want to say hello to Alexis. Let's see, Brett, hello, how are you? Tanya, who else? Nick, Roxana, David, Alex, Chippewa Falls, Jeffrey. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Great. Okay, now I wanted to talk about the Neoclassical zone. In Metal Method, we have the Speed Kill series, which I have 3 instructional programs, the original one and then 2 and 3. But we also have Speed Lives, and Speed Lives is really cool. Hey, Brian. And it's kind of fun doing it old school like this. I've got my phone, I'm looking at it going, I know my face looks a little red. I can't help it. I don't know what it is with these lights. If you've seen me forever, it wasn't like this. But, I had to do it real quick. And or else I would be sitting in my car going, hello. And Joey has a few things to say today. He's been laying back lately, but he wants to talk really bad. And but anyway, I just wanted to get back to talk about a couple things. It is the Neoclassical zone. And like I was saying, I have a series of 3 programs with Metal Method, metalmethod.com, called Speed Lives. And that shows my songs. No Boundaries is one. The second one is the Neoclassical zone. That's my song, The Finish Line. And the third one's Hands Without Shadows. So I want to talk about this Neoclassical zone, and they are available at Metal Method. Now, the guitar that I'm using today, this is an amazing guitar. It's the STM24 in satin black. And there is a major discount on this guitar now. It is literally 40% off. You can get this guitar shipped for under $200. And I'm going to just play a little bit for you so you can hear how intense this sounds. Now, I just changed the strings probably about an hour and a half before I started the live stream. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. I changed the strings yesterday about an hour and a half before I was working on these exercises and things I was going to play for the live stream. So I had my brain scrambled from recording all day. But these strings are new, and it doesn't make any difference. It's so quick to change strings. This is a non-locking trem, but I want to play a little bit for you. And then to sound like you're in fusion. Listen to how nice the clean sound is on this. And then you do these, what's called a slash chord. I've talked about this before, where like the old classic rock song. Those are slash chords. You have a C bass, not that. C with an F chord. That would be a third inversion. I'm sorry, yeah, second inversion. And then you have the G, and And that G over C is the fusion chord. See what I do? Here's a D chord, like this. You know. So you have the D chord, but then you have a G bass. So the G is in the bass, the D chord is above that. So when I would write that in music, I would literally, we call them slash chords. It's just G slash D. And that's all it is. Very simple to read. I did this in time travel that, I went like, you know, and you go, you know, you can play anything. Go, there he is. It's so ethereal. It's like it's jazz, but it's a fusion of jazz. Like, there he is. To my discerning ears, it's excellent. But this guitar has a great clean sound, and this is 100% stock. I have a passion for maple necks, like one of my latest signature guitars from Sawtooth. The tribal red. It's just amazing. But they roasted a maple neck, and it looks a little more brown, and man, is it cool. It just sounds great. But when you get a guitar like this for literally under $200, and as far as tuning, like I said, I changed the strings yesterday. Just really intonated well. I mean, so, and then what I do is I put my MAB string dampeners on virtually all my live guitars. Now watch this. The string dampener's like a fret wrap, only you don't put chicken around the wrap. Okay, so, or if you're a vegetarian, you have a vegan wrap. Yes, vegan death wraps. I like that. See, I'm doing a vegan death metal record, but I think I need to use a vegan death wrap. The wrap of death. Don't even eat it! Don't look at it! It will kill you! Of the wrap awesomeness. But here, watch. I'm just strumming open strings. Now watch, you go like this. That's open. If I put this... Do you hear how that dampens the strings, and it makes it so much easier to play? That doesn't mean, and it does clean up your playing. I mean, that's what it's designed to do. You know, and people say, oh, that's cheating, bro. Using a wrap, is that cheating? You know, well, if you want to put a burrito around your guitar, maybe that cheats a little bit. It'll kind of grease it up a little bit if you want refried beans all over your guitar. But these string dampeners work great. When I invented the double guitar and started going, I had nothing to block the strings. So it's kind of like doing this, like... You hear that extraneous string noise? But when I put this down, I can literally play on the first string and this dampens it. Watch again. To quote Captain America, I can do this all day. And so the idea is this: the string dampener blocks extraneous string noise. When you're dealing with steel strings, it could be nylon strings, but let's just say steel, mostly on electric. You're dealing with wood, and you're dealing with an amplification system, meaning pickups that amplify the tone of the strings that are resting on these pieces of wood, you're going to get noise. I mean, it's just inherent in the whole structure of it. And so the string dampener blocks it. Now, why I'm talking about this is because, one, it's on the guitar. Two, it's on a really great guitar. This guitar, for the money, it's my go-to guitar. You can't get a better instrument for this price. Look at the satin finish, just rules. And look at the back. The contour, the bevels, it's just mean looking. And you know, we started doing satin finishes a few years ago. Not saying we invented it, Sawtooth invented it, but nobody was really doing it. It had been done before, but there's so many guitars out there now. This is my first signature guitar that we released with Sawtooth, and I've seen other guitarists and other companies, they virtually copied this. And you know, again, with Sawtooth, I don't really concern myself what other companies are doing. I just happen to see it online by accident. You know, I follow guitar players, it comes up. And but this is a really fantastic guitar. And when I talk about neoclassical, I'm using this guitar to demonstrate. Now, first and foremost, the main two scales that you have to know, and one of them is actually a mode, but it's very simple, is the harmonic minor. In A, it would be. And that literally is the basis. I mean, when you heard, you know, my song No Boundaries, like where I go up. And so, and it's really based this. That's based on a sequence. But when I go, and I start that really fast part, that's like Paganini's Fifth Caprice. And when you hear, for example, Yngwie Malmsteen, I mean, he's the master at it. And you hear these parts that are almost entirely harmonic minor. Now, one of the things that I think that I've imparted to you over the last couple of years doing these live streams is that it's good, you know, I always think of guitar, I kind of think of life sometimes like an alphabet. A lot of times people don't start at A, they don't start at step one, and they don't finish the whole process. They start somewhere in the middle of the process and get confused, and because they don't have the foundation, the necessary beginning skills, that's when you have trouble later on. And so what my programs are really all about is to start from square one, not square two plus two is metal 4 minus 1, square 3. And so, or square 4. You don't want to, I mean, people do it all the time. You can do it. I can't stop you. But if you start from the beginning, from the very beginning, the basics. For example, it's one thing to learn a million neoclassical riffs. It's another thing to say, what are they based on? Like, where does it come from? So the harmonic minor, when you think of music, music is a perfect science, Western music. Our musical and tonal system, we call it tertian harmony. It's harmony-based, tertian means thirds. And our entire Western, and I don't use that meaning colonialism. What I mean by this is that it started with the Greeks. It was really evolution. The evolution of it came from Europe. And so this idea of our tonal system, especially well-tempered tuning like Bach, the well-tempered clavier. There are other tunings in this world besides this. There are many, many other tunings, but our system is one of the most pleasing to the ear of the human race. It's taken thousands of years to develop this. First of all, our tonal system is slightly out of tune. Okay, so if this was mathematically perfect, key of A. The farther you move away from A, it's going up or down, the more it gets out of tune. And so what we did was, over the centuries, well-tempered, they slightly detuned certain notes. And what that meant was that all of a sudden, all the keys sounded in tune. It was imperceptible to the human ear to hear out of tune if I go like this, or if I go, or. And so that was the basis. There are 7 tones in our system. Pentatonic's only 5 tones, but a main scale or a mode has only 7 sounds, 7 tones. So really, what you have to look at is what is tone 1 and where does it go to tone 2, then to tone 3. So half step, meaning just one note higher, whole step, 2 notes higher. That's it. Just half step, whole step. So in the harmonic minor, and that third tone is minor. When you have a minor third, you have a minor chord, or a minor triad. Or if you use tertian harmony, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and that's it. But if you have flatted 5, now all of a sudden, got diminished. The evil triad of doom, death, mayhem, and destruction. But in the harmonic minor, that's Beethoven, Bach. And so when you hear it, it's very strong and just, da, 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 da. Now, so that's scale 1, but the other scale, and then I'm going to show you some riffs in it. It's not a scale at all, it's a mode. Now here's a hard thing to grasp, but it's actually easy once you figure this one out. Watch. If you play an A harmonic minor scale, but you start on the 5th note of that scale. So, you have what's called the Spanish Phrygian mode, or the Phrygian dominant. In other words, you can play, this is one of the things that's so difficult to teach, but if you can grasp this, the complexity of it is that it's so simple, that when you get scales and modes, you have an A harmonic minor. But if you start on the 5th note of that scale, and instead of playing 1 to 1, you play 5 to 5 using the exact same scale. You have modes. And so you don't really have to learn a new position. You have to train your mind to understand that one is many. And that when you can do that, it becomes so simple. You're like, wow, it's like riding a bike. It's hard at first to grasp, but once you grasp it, for example, if I want to play sounding classical like a, and I go, or I go like, I just played here a harmonic minor scale in A starting on the E note. The Yngwie. He loves to end on a third. He does it all the time, a million times. I love his new album. He probably does that 100 or more times, literally, on the. And so it is the Phrygian dominant. Now, here's what you can do. Where I said the neoclassical zone, my song, The Finish Line, has 3-string arpeggio madness. For example, there's a bridge section in there that goes like this. I'm going to play the whole thing for you. I'm using harmonic minors. I'm also using 3-string arpeggio. Minor. Now another inversion, another way to play an A minor, 3-string arpeggio shift. So I'm going minor, diminished, minor, diminished. Then I change keys. I go now down to F sharp minor. Then I set it up to change keys again. F sharp minor. Then I move up using a diminished arpeggio, and I change keys, or the term in music is modulate. I modulate to D minor. This little section goes through several different key changes, and it's really fun to learn. So I'll just outline the triad arpeggios because they're based on 3 tones. Actually, no, it's a chord here. More than 3 tones is a chord, 4 or more. 3 is a triad. So I go like this. 1. So I go through these massive amounts of arpeggios. Why? Because I like them. Wait a second. Now, I haven't said a lot in a long time, but look it. I am the star of this show. I'm the guy playing all the arpeggios. You want to learn 2 strings, 3 strings, 5 strings, and more. That's what I do, and that's what Robert does. Robert is angry. Robert never talks. But see, Joey's right. What you want to do is you can work on 2-string arps. I prefer 3. You can do so much with 3 strings. Just that one passage alone. You're working on majors, several different shapes of minors, diminished, all in a musical context. That's why I call this the neoclassical zone. To sound neoclassical, first and foremost, you have to understand that it's derived many times, not all the time, nothing is 100%, from the harmonic minor scale. So when I do this, in this shape alone, you go. Because you have to actually roll your finger because your bar. So I show this shape in the song. So you have 3 different shapes of one minor chord. That'll basically cover the fret part. And so. And so what you have here is that, what's this he likes to play? Oh, so anyway, what you have is these different shapes that you can use to create all these neoclassical sounding riffs. And my song, The Finish Line, just goes over so many of them. And it is Speed Kills 2. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this guitar. And then I'll play some more for you, but you can hear how good it sounds. I mean, it's just... It just sounds great. You know, and I also have a program called 25 Jazz Progressions. And one of them I show is this. One of the things I like, and it's with arpeggios, it's voicing. Now I'm going to show you this, and I explain this in the program. That is a G6 chord. If you move your fingers down, just 2 fingers down, 1 fret, watch. Now that is C sharp diminished with a 7th, with a flat 7th. Then you move your 2 fingers down more. That's A minor 7. So just going like this. You hear how the voicing? It's beautiful. Then you go. Then I just move my 3rd finger down 1 fret. That's D9. So you go. And it's just 1 fret movement. 2 fingers, 1 finger. But listen to how my fingers don't move that much. And then I go A minor 11, D7 flat 5, resolving to G major 7. So see, it's all voicing and chord leading. And that even in neoclassical music, even though, you know, that's jazz progressions, you voice it. See, what I did is I started the riff like this. I voiced it. I moved fret or 2, but what I did was I voiced it in such a way that it gives you that, you know, that very classical sound, but it makes musical sense because voicing is everything. I mean, when you think of the McCartney song, the Beatles song, Blackbird. I studied that song in college, at the university. They said take a contemporary song. That could have been one of the last 50 years. I could have brought Frank Sinatra. But what I learned from this is voice leading. That you can just take a few notes like this. Watch. The bass line in Blackbird alone is chromatic. But above it, there's a couple names that I'm going to throw out here. Parallel motion. That's parallel motion. But contrary motion is where the notes move independently of each other. And, you know, it could be parallel sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. It's contrary to parallel. And so what McCartney did on this, watch, you have this bass line. So you have this chromatic bass line, but listen to the beauty of the upper line. It's so beautifully written. It gives me chills, almost puts a tear in my eye to think about that could have been Bach. When you see how perfectly this is. The bass and the melody, this is 2 parts. Bach wrote 2-part inventions that I studied in school. And he, you know, one of them would be like, So it'd be like this. And so you heard it like do 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 do, and then all of a sudden the bass would copy it. So the melody like, and so you're like do, and then the bass do 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 do. Bach, if he heard this, Blackbird, he'd say, I know it. He would go, that's bad. Dude, that's bad. But he was from Germany, so he's probably like, yes, yes. And but the point is this, that when you voice things and you find these arp shapes that work, you have this. And then all of a sudden you go to diminished. A great example is Ritchie Blackmore in Burned. But you hear like and so you hear that. And so when you hear it, it's so melodic that you can literally outline the chords. And now I just want to riff out a little bit on this guitar so you can just hear. I mean, this guitar is under $200. Guitar just sounds mean. It just sounds great. And the clean sound. Like one of my songs called Oceans of Time. But when you hear how cool this guitar sounds, and when you think about, how do you apply the sounds? People, one of the things that, I've said over and over with Sawtooth, but it just, you need to repeat it because I can never get tired of it. We build such great value into the guitar, so the money. This is just a great guitar. Forget the price, but we just know how to manufacture guitars to keep the price better. Even in these crazy times where shipping, a lot of what you see in inflation right now with musical instruments is the cost of shipping. So when you see price increases, it's not that the companies are making a lot more money. It's that they have to pay literally. Okay, I'll give you an example. if a container coming over, like when you see in a semi truck, is 2,000 or 2,500 US dollars in a year and a half ago, in the year 2020, and you look at it now and it's $18,000, literally, you are looking at a huge cost difference, and to ship the same product. So it's so important nowadays, to be smart as a company, and what do you release, what can't you release, what can you afford really, what makes, not afford, that's the wrong word, what makes sense for a product. I mean, if you're selling a guitar stand for $10, but your shipping is 8 times more, and you have to sell that $10 guitar now for a stand for $90 or $80, it doesn't make any sense to bring that product in. And so this is a thing, and not just Sawtooth, but a lot of companies have to deal with now. They have to ask themselves, what can we do, to keep everything good for you, for the people? And that's why I'm still so impressed with how we've been able to keep the prices reasonable. And this guitar right now, like I said, it's under $200. There's never been a better time to buy it. You've heard it, you've seen it, you've witnessed the shred, the death shred on this guitar. I can't say enough about it. Now, one of the things too, Go DPS Music, the other one of the companies with Sawtooth, we have our own app. And so if you go to the app, you get to see live performances. You get to see, we did a really cool play-along jam track where I took all the basic modes on acoustic guitar and cajon. And one of the owners, Joe Fugo, plays a mean cajon. If you don't know what that is, it's an instrument, looks like an African percussion piece, but you hit one part of it, it sounds like a kick drum, and the other's the snare. And man, he just wails on this thing. And he's a great drummer, but not every great drummer can play the cajon. And so we're just riffing out. I'm playing these really cool rhythm tracks in all the different major modes, the church modes. When I say major, I don't mean major scale. The ones we know: Ionian, major scale; Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Those are the main modes. And so in the Ionian mode, we also call the major scale. So we did that, and I used the harmonic minor, and I play acoustic guitar. Joe plays the cajon. It sounds amazing, and it was live. There's no edits or anything. And then what I did is I overdubbed leads so you could hear my interpretation of what you do over this, and then you just jam for yourself. It's really cool. So that's one of the things that's available. Also, we've got a lot of new content out. I've got some great stuff on my YouTube channel, Angelo Batio official. You can find it on YouTube. And when you want to learn the neoclassical zone and really go in depth, go to metalmethod.com. Doug Marks has probably taught more people than almost anyone on this planet from Metal Method. His lessons are just, they're like the textbooks, that people use. So many famous guitar players use them. I love working with Doug. He's great, and we've worked together a long time. But go to metalmethod.com for all our instructional stuff. And lastly, one of the things that makes Sawtooth such a great company is not just that we make reasonably priced guitars that are really of high value, but we make a left-handed version in almost every model. You know how hard? I'm left-handed. I was born lefty. Why? You know why Joey has a big mouth? Because he's the dominant hand. Nah. And so I've always wanted to get lefty versions of my guitars. I could never do it until now. When you see this guitar, it's not just available right-handed, it's available left-handed, and so are a lot of the other guitars that are in the Sawtooth line. I can't say enough about it. Also, too, we're going to be releasing, I just finished a really cool ET hybrid playthrough video. I did a Led Zeppelin medley. If you guys know my discography, you know that I played this in concert before. But what the biggest difference is, I used a lot of clean sounds on this new version. I used the ET hybrid. There are 15 different sounds on this ET hybrid, combinations of, single coils and humbuckers together that you cannot get on any guitar. And I showed all the different pickup combinations, and I even repeated a few. It's actually 22, I think, total. And then on the screen, you can see exactly what I am using pickup combination wise during the exact spot that I'm playing it. You can see it on the bottom corner of your screen. So if you have any questions, you can understand that, oh yeah, that's this tone and this is how Michael got it. It's a really great video. It just came out. Also, I'm going to be releasing one of it's the ST-M24, the Primal Red. It's such a beautiful guitar. I did an updated version of my song Prague. That will be coming out soon. And I did something else too. People don't know that I can sing. Now, I'm not the greatest singer in the world. I never professed to be. But we did a version of Hurt, the 9 Inch Nails song. I hurt myself today. See if I could feel. And then when it breaks out. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you can have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt. Sad song, but you know what we did at the end? We said, it ain't hurting no more, bro. It ain't hurting at all. And then we started riffing. So at the end, we just kicked it up a notch and we shredded out. Why? Why not? You know, if you want to listen to the original, listen to 9 Inch Nails or listen to Johnny Cash. But I'm releasing a lot of music. And these are just a few of the things that I'm doing in addition, you know, to many other like guest solos and shred collabs. I'm going to be on the new Jared Dines monster shred collab, and he released a really great new record with Howard Jones, the singer. It's really great. And but I'm super busy right now, and I just want you to know this from the bottom of my heart. I want to help you, and these things that I say, I practice what I teach, and not everybody can say that, because you know it's kind of like, do as I say, not as I do. So I can, you know, some people, you know, tell you to do something, but they don't follow their own rules. That they, you know, you have to do it, but not me. And so I don't believe that. My playing is still at a super high caliber because I practice what I teach. And I can tell you this, not only do I love the Sawtooth Guitars, I'm playing a guitar that's well under $200 right now. And I'm comfortable to play it, but it helps you because you don't have to spend all this money to get a great guitar. You can get a great guitar for a reasonable price, and we want to include more people, not make guitars out of the price range. And we have them in stock. You can get this in lefty, you can get them in righty, and you can get it right now. And they rule. And so in parting, I want to say this, Sawtooth rules. Their other company, Chromacast, rules. If you're interested in the MAB string dampener, very reasonably priced, under $20, and it works great. You heard it. You saw it. And you know, I've used them for a long time on my doubles. I use them on the singles, and it's like a fret wrap, only better. And finally, Metal Method. I practice what I teach, and speed kills works. metalmethod.com. Thank you so much for Sawtooth Guitars, for Chromacast, for GoDPS Music. I'm Angelo Batio. See ya.